All right, on today's episode of Python Papi, we're back inside our TensorFlow course, and we're still doing our malaria functional API module. Let's have a look at what we went over today. Now, yesterday it was important that we get down the feature extraction function down, and I'll show you why. So after all this, we have successfully used functional APIs to build our model. So that's why I want to get down the feature extraction aspect of it down pat because that's how we actually build our functional APIs. So we condensed all of the Cov 2D and max pooling 2D information, the extractor, into the x equals feature extractor model function. And we were able to run that with our classifying information, the dense layers, and return our entire Linnet model as a whole. So let me go back and show you yesterday how we actually did that. Let me move this down some so we can get a better look at the screen there. So you can see here, this is the actual function here. I haven't commented it out because we did something else today. You can see we have an x equals feature extracted SQL model. We're going to talk about that in a second. But this was the original here. We have our x equals feature extractor model funct input. And this is our classifying information, the dense layer information with the flattened layer. So that's why we took the time to actually learn that and go over it in depth and see exactly how it's working and make sure everything's working properly with it, because that's how we created our functional API. Now, in subsequent sections, we'll build even more complex models using these functional API models where we're going to use shared layers. So that's why we got to make sure we understand the functional API models, because that's exactly what's going to lead into us using our shared layers moving forward. So we're going to have multiple inputs, multiple outputs, and models where we're going to have even more complicated model configurations. It's also important to note that we could mix up the functional API model creation style with that of the sequential API. So here, instead of having our feature extractor created like this, we're going to create it using the sequential APIs. Let me actually fix this word here. Where did I go? I can't see why I don't know why it always moves like that. Okay, here it is here. I just want to fix this really quickly. So yeah, so this is how we can do this. Notice that we added our extractor to our sequential model into our summary. And notice that we have the same exact whole model in the sequential model as we do with the extractor model. And note, we before I read the note, let me actually show you what it looks like here. So this is our feature extractor sequential model, like I showed you above, equals tf.correct. So this is our sequential model here. And we're just adding our feature extractor model to that here, to our sequential model. And you can see we still left off the classifying information, the dense layers, and the flattening layer. So we are using the sequential model as our feature extractor model. And then you can see here we have our feature extractor sequential model summary. So we have our summary here also. Let me go back up to the note really quickly. I just had to show you that before I commented out. All right, all right. All right, note, we added the x equals feature extractor sequential model to our classified data and commented out the original C line 360, so that just to show that they are the same. So let me show you this here. So remember, this is our original feature extractor. That's why it's commented out line 360, and this is our sequential model version of the feature extractor. Now, I actually ran everything already, so let me go ahead and show you. Oh, before we do that, let me give you one more note so we can actually not be lost when we go along. Now, also note that the code below is commented out. This code here is commented out because we copied it and initialized it above the x equals feature extractor sequential model so that we can have access to it. So we can have access to the x feature extractor sequential model function, but it's the same exact code we use. So this is the same exact code that we're going to be using. I just had to initialize it above this here, so we can initialize it so we can actually have access to this function here. So that code that's commented out is actually right here. So it's the same exact code. We just had to initialize it above the feature extraction function that we call. So yeah, this is the same exact code. We just initialized it above. So that's why that's there, and it's commented out below here. So let me get. I already ran it. So let me give you a look at what it looks like, so you can see exactly what's going on with that. So as you can see, our original feature extractor model here. As you can see, this is our feature extraction model. This is just the feature extractions. No classifying information, no dense layers, no flattening layers. As you can see, our output is the max pool We have the none. I don't know if you can see my mouse here. The none 5454 by 16. So this was our original feature extraction model. Next should be our sequential model. As you can see, sequential, and it's shaped exactly the same as the feature extraction model because it is the same. The only difference is we ran our feature extraction with our sequential model. So as you can see here, we do have none 54, 54, 16. And you can check the parameters. You see the total parameters 1136, 109244. That was for our net model inside our feature extractor. And this one is the sequential model. And you can see we have the same parameters 1136, 1092, and 44. Now, next, lastly, we actually ran our sequential model with our classifying information to see if we can bring back the entire model. As you can see here, yesterday it was the feature extraction information that was here with the none 54, 54, 16, and now it's saying sequential because we commented out this feature extraction and we're using the feature extractor sequential model. So that's why it's coming back sequential instead of feature extractor. So it's the same information, it's we're using it in the sequential form. That's why that's there, but it's the same exact information as you can see, 54, 54, 16. And we can check our parameters. And you can see here we have our 46 million parameters, total parameters, then 46 million in change, and then our 2,244 non-trainable parameters. So yeah, everything was a success. We were able to successfully mix that up. It's not really a call to do that, but it is good to know how to do just in case we ever need to do it in the future. We know exactly how to do it and what to look out for and how to remedy these solutions if we ever come into a problem. But yeah, so this shows us that we could mix up the different types of creation models. Now, from this point on, we'll look at the model subclass. I stopped it there for today because I didn't want to move into a new subject of going over a different model in class. So I left it there for today, and we will pick it up tomorrow. But before we go, let me get in and show you. I haven't shown you in a few days that we have been doing our math course, and we did get pretty far. Let me see if I can show you exactly where we at with that. So the last time I showed you this, there was nothing on this derivatives of neural networks module here inside our math course. As you can see, we have gotten pretty far and we're learning a whole bunch in this math course here, especially this module here. Things have gotten a little tricky, but yeah, we are moving along right ahead. We are learning a whole lot of concepts, some concepts that we haven't even touched yet in our learning modules, the artificial intelligence in our TensorFlow module. So yeah, this math course is a big help. It's helped me grasp a lot of things that I didn't even know that I was missing knowledge-wise, dealing with the TensorFlow math. But yeah, like I said, just because I haven't showed you doesn't mean I haven't been working on it. I've been chipping away at it every day. Like I said, every day I do coursework, I'm going to do math work. And so far, this is how far we've gotten. Like I said, pretty interesting stuff, a whole bunch of new concepts. And yeah, so yeah, things are moving along full speed ahead as usual. And like I said, I will pick up tomorrow again with the TensorFlow, and we're going to start that subclassing functioning. But yeah, I didn't want to start a new one because we just got done with the functional APIs. So I wanted to make sure I had that down packed and fresh in my mind to go over this video with you today. As you can see, we did do that, and then we're going to move forward tomorrow. And of course, I will keep you posted every step of the way. But for now, this is the Python Papi. You guys stay Gucci.